Hey guys, so today's question is, how do you handle conflicts without letting them affect you?
Here's something you do need to know, which is it a conflict of interest or a conflict of views? Because a conflict of interest is when you have skin in the game, where it's not just like what you think is right and what you think is wrong. Like if you're defeated, if you are considered the wrong, you actually get affected by it. Like things, like bad things happen to you. Whether it actually happens is a different question, but like in your head, like you do think that bad things are going to happen to you, and that is the difference. So when we're talking about it here, if it's conflict of view, it means that if I tell you that, if I give you facts and things like that to show, hey, this is the better way, then you'll be okay, cool, like sounds good. I guess you're right, and then you would just go away with it. Whereas if it's a conflict of interest, it's about how they can, you have a like the interest is because you have a problem with it. Like you're not talking about the way to the solution. You literally have a problem, and the other way is not going to solve it, and this is the only way that's going to solve.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to plug a book here. There's a book called Skin in the Game by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, which we'll put a link to below. And yeah, you guys should definitely read that because it talks a lot about these asymmetries and hidden asymmetries in these kind of conflicts, and it's a very interesting read.
Well, usually when you have arguments that involve your personal values, it can be um, very emotional because you might start getting into a fight and flight response kind of situation because it feels like you're personally being attacked because whatever is being argued about is so valuable and personal to you. So I think trying to figure out where the other person's coming from might help. Are they trying to attack you or your stance? And is it something that you're willing to sit there and listen to and maybe see their side? Or if that's something you're not open for in the moment. And it's okay if you're not open for it. There's a good number of ways to get out of that situation. Just be like, that's interesting. I hear what you're saying, or let me think more about that, or there are ways for you to like just sidestep and exit the conversation if it's a personal conversation. If it's a conflict of values, both for you, or not values, of views, like it's just things that you're not personally invested in, it's important to realize that you're not attacking that individual, but you're thinking about their views and you're arguing against what they think, and they're arguing about what you think, right? They're not calling you a bad person. They're not saying you're illogical. They're saying the way you're thinking about this issue might be illogical. So keeping that in mind will probably also help to avoid it from becoming personally exhausting and draining and harmful to be in that conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I would
you're
even
just
add.
basically saying that we should avoid ad hominem attacks on people.
Yeah, yes. And not take them as ad hominem attacks either.
I would even add that from a young age, or like whatever age you are right now, you can start even
I'm
now
still young, man.
to to argue, even for like being able to debate and argue on things even when you don't agree with it. And of course, that's something that if you learn, you would be able to think the way they're thinking, and you would like sort of humanize the things that are happening in their lives. And it's easier to be empathetic when you fight for it, because like when somebody else fights for it, sure, they might be able to bring up better points, but then everybody has an ego, everybody has an interest for themselves, and trying to put yourself in that place. And if you argue for it, that would be the best way to understand those values, and where they're coming from, and why. Seeing what arguments you would want to make to get there is also a very interesting way to like learn about yourself. And by doing that, the conflict, even though I mean it would like affect you, it would like affect you a bit more milder than it would normally would.
That's an excellent point. I think the ethos, pathos, logos concept we talked about in previous weeks comes in useful here as well. If it's a conflict of interests and you have, or one of the parties has skin in the game and you have to convince that party, then I think it's most useful to make an argument based on emotion. Whereas if it's only a conflict of views, an argument based on logic or credibility might be more likely to work because they can see through your emotional argument.
That's
Yes,
very
indeed.
true. But like when he said emotional argument, it means like what's emotional to them, and then you're seeing how to solve that emotional issue. Not talking about like, hey, my emotional issues are more important than your emotional issues.
Yeah, that's true. It's more of a I feel your pain kind of.
Yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
think of how much happier you would be, how much less stress you would be, basically appealing to emotional and feeling values. So
But what happens when you are persuaded by someone's argument? At what point do you switch to the other side, and when do you stick to your own convictions?
That is actually a good question. Let's answer tomorrow.
see you tomorrow.
Oh, you're still here? Well, thanks for getting to the end of the video. Hey, while you're still here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get new updates when we post videos. Also, make sure to check out these equally exciting videos as well. Have you pressed it yet? Come on, you have 5 seconds left. 3, 2, press it now!